All right. A very good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to all the participants today. I hope I am audible and my screen is visible. And firstly, thank you so much for all the participants for joining us today and all the panelists for joining us today. Um, we'll just wait. Yeah, I think we can go ahead. So, a few disclaimers to all the participants. We will certainly be able to take a few questions towards the end, but during the panel discussion, we plan to actually have it a lot more interactive. So we will have quite a few questions that we've already received by now, and we will probably be able to post these questions to the panelists directly. But all the participants who have some questions or they would like to ask anything, towards the end, we'll try to manage all the queries. And so with no further delay, we'll get started today. And a very warm welcome to all the participants and the panelists for this wonderful event this evening. And this is primarily to give a lot of understanding and understand different perspectives of one of the finest leaders that we have in India about the program that we've recently launched and the kind of mind and thoughts that went towards building the program from this scratch. So today we have four panelists joining today. We have Mr. Rajiv Shah, who's the CEO and director of NMIMS School of Continuing Education, Global Access. And we have Professor Brunda, who's a faculty from NMIMS. We have Dr. Dakshinamurthy, who's the president and CEO of INSOFI. And we have Professor Andhra Sharma, who's another professor from INSOFI. To just give a brief, let me start introducing about each of the panelists because it's really important for all of us to understand the kind of mind share we are likely to have today. I will start with a very brief introduction of Mr. Rajiv Shah. Mr. Rajiv is a tech-savvy business leader with a global mindset, and Rajiv has over 25 years of experience and expertise in setting up business from the scratch across multiple industries spread over a spectrum of geographies like India, China, UAE, North America. And he has capitalized his passion for education at an early stage of his career by building an e-learning startup in the 90s, later acquired by LNFS. Continuing his purpose and belief, Rajiv pioneered the online assessment business for Manipal in mid-2000s, and through a strategic forefront, he also built a strong foundation for his manufacturing enterprise in China and UAE that provided engineering components in the HVAC industry to major global organizations. And beginning his journey at NMIMS in 2014, Rajiv started to fill what he saw as void between quality of education and its accessibility. Using technology as a growth catalyst, he transformed this traditional education giant to become an interactive consumer platform for quality learning. 5 years later, the same platform is accessed by 55,000 plus active students and continues to grow at a rapid pace. As a leader, Rajiv mentors a strategically selected executive management team along with aspiring young professionals to bring out the best in themselves. Mr. Rajiv, it's a delight and honor to have you here today and welcome you to the panelists. And we have Dr. Dakshinamurthy Vikoluru, who's the founding president and CEO of INSOFI, and he's the chief mentor as well. And with a formidable combination of training, consulting, and research in data science offered in the US, UK, India, Middle East, and quite a few Fortune companies over the last 17 years. Dr. Murthy is regarded as one of the prominent personalities in the field of analytics in India. He worked as a scientist with Defense Meteorological Research Laboratories in India and was also a chief research officer with Prithvi Information Solutions India. And his expertise lies in simplifying complex ideas and communicating them clearly and excitingly. While working extensively in data science, with a majority of his work primarily being done in pertaining to mathematical algorithms and pattern extraction, he helped set up several data science COEs, and Dr. Murthy, along his skilled team at INSOFI, has steered in building a globally acclaimed engineering school, and he has been also awarded the Binani Gold Medal for working under the guidance of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to indigenously develop radome, a critical component of Nmi Mse. He has a master's and PhD from Carnegie University and a bachelor's from NIT Trichy. Welcome, Dr. Murthy, and it's a delight to have you today. We also have Dr. Brunda Sampath from Narsamonji Global Access School of Continuing Education, and she's been working here for the last 8 years. And she has pursued a PhD from NMIMS School of Business Management, Mumbai, and study information technology at master's at undergraduate level. She has also published research articles in international peer journals. And Dr. Brinda Sampath, it's really a delight to have you also today. And we also have Professor Andhra Sharma, who has over 2 decades of experience in building and scaling teams around data science. And her work has spanned the analytics space from marketing analytics and research, financial analytics, web analytics, and her expertise lies in supply chain, machine learning, and statistical modeling. She has a master's in applied statistics from Bowling Green University and a master's and bachelor's from Lady Shri Ram College, New Delhi. Professor Anuradha, a warm welcome. Well, now that we really have one of the finest brains joined us today, I would quickly start by picking a few perspectives from Mr. Rajiv Shah. Mr. Rajiv, Narsimhan University has been consistently in the top 10 ranks and acclaimed by various rankings. And the Narsimhan School of Global Access School for Continuing Education is one of the schools that you are leading. And it would really nice to know and hear your thoughts on the kind of activities and the kind of initiatives and the kind of quality of education to impart to the students.
Yeah, thank you, so. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
I'll briefly talk about NMIMS a little bit and then move on to the NMIMS Global Access School for Continuing Education. So, as you rightly pointed out, NMIMS is one of the premium universities within the country. Consistently, we are ranking in the top 10 from various rankings. And while as a university, we are still young, we were given the university status in the year 2003. But as an education institution, we are around 40 years old. We started in the year 1982. Uh, NMIMS University has about 18 different schools. While our genesis is definitely management education, but over the years we've established 18 different schools in various different streams. And today, NMIMS Global Access is one of the 18 schools that exist within the university. Uh, Global Access, as we call it NGA-SCE, is one of the topmost edtech players within the country. We started in the year 2014, uh, where with almost less than 500 students. Today we have close to 70,000 active students actually, and we are the online and distance arm of NMIMS University. The kind of courses we offer, our courses are MBA for working professionals. We have M.Sc in various coaching fields, finance. We have a PG diploma in management. We have diploma courses and we have certificate courses. And now today, this month rather, we launched the Master of Science in AI and Machine Learning Ops. As a university, while our genesis stays within the management stream, I clearly when I did mention that we have a legacy in engineering and technology. Uh, uh, One of our schools, the Mukesh Patel School of Technology, Management and Engineering, is one of the largest engineering schools within the country. And we have a center of excellence that has been established recently in the field of analytics and data science, and that is one of the fastest growing center of excellences again within the country. So our legacy in technology is also pretty deep, and as part of that, we have launched this Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Ops in partnership with INSOFI, who themselves are known worldwide, definitely in Asia, for their focus on artificial intelligence, data sciences, analytics, and such fields. Uh, so that's a little bit about NMIMS for you. Over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you so much. I think, Dr. Murthy, it would be nice to hear your thoughts also about INSOFI and the collaboration and the kind of program that we have. You're on mute, Dr. Murthy.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajiv and Som, for introducing the program. So let me talk about, you asked me two questions. One is about INSOFI and then the partnership. So I'll start with INSOFI. INSOFI, International School of Engineering, is designed to work with universities in offering AI and machine learning programs. The reason is AI and machine learning, amongst all the developing fields, probably AI and machine learning is the fastest developing field, where the curriculum that was taught 4 years back may be irrelevant today. I'm talking about unprecedented pace of development. Maybe in 1930s, quantum physics saw this kind of growth. Today, we are seeing the same in AI and machine learning. So a new thing is unraveled, a new thing is invented. So the universities are designed to provide the foundational skills that enable anyone to learn these things. But the job market is so competitive that while the universities focus on these foundational skills, we said if we can form an expert team of practitioners, hands-on practitioners who worked for industry, who do consulting, who do R&D, who can teach the advanced modules, it will really help the Indian and global universities offer this program very meaningfully for the industry. So that is the goal with which INSOFI operates. So we only work on data science and machine learning. We design these programs at undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral level, and work with universities so that they bring in the traditional strength of teaching, administrating the courses, and we bring in this latest development and advances in the field. We currently are a 70 plus mentoring team, around 75 patents, 300 publications, 50 odd consulting projects that we do every year. Probably around a dozen to 15 consulting projects are done. And we have our associations, of course, in India with Nmi Mse, which is one of the finest universities in the country. And in France, USA, Canada, UK, we have partner universities where we offer these programs together. Now, about the second question was about this program. For that, let me first thank Anuradha, Brinda, and Shalini, who worked tirelessly for months. I know Rajiv and I were actively involved too, but they were really actively involved. Okay, so to do this curriculum, wonderful job. It took a lot of work from their end to put together a program that is the need of the hour, which combines the foundational AI machine learning background, computer science background, and the applied industry aspects, case studies, beautifully together. I believe this is perhaps the finest program of its kind anywhere in the world. I'm glad to compare it with the best in the world. More as you ask me more, but over to you at this point.
Great. That sounds pretty exciting. I just want to pick the perspective of Professor Anuradha and Professor Brinda also about, now that you've spent a lot of time, as Dr. Murthy mentioned, in designing the courses. I'll first seek your opinion, Professor Anuradha, on what was the perspective that you thought, what would be the right areas that you think would need it to bring the curriculum together? What were your thoughts when you were designing this program?
Thank you, Som. I'm happy to pitch in and explain how we thought this through. The program is a 2-year program. The validity is about 48 months. So you will do a full 2-year master's program. There are 8 academic sessions that will take place because we thought they were well paced out to cover the kind of course we were looking at doing. The great part is, apart from what Dr. Murthy said about the foundationals, you have the choice for picking 4 electives, which are in high demand. You've got NLP, computer vision, you've got robotics, and reinforcement learning as some of them, and big data. So, as you do this course, you can go ahead and pick those electives. The way we thought about pacing the program is a more linear approach, which is about 2 to 3 weeks for each course and one after the other, so that students feel comfortable in handling that pace. And, obviously they will learn more about that program. So that is one. INSOFI as an academic partner comes with, a lot of depth. We have 75 patents, that we have filed. Our professors have written about 300 papers in technology, and we provide that experience and that rich academic experience. So over to you, Brinda, if you'd like to talk more about it. But that's how we thought through the program. Depth in electives, strong foundations, 2 years, which encompasses, and we'll talk more as about boot camps and other things as we go, applied hands-on learning. Over to you, Brinda, please.
Sure. So for anybody who takes up this program, one of the things that we had in mind was just build a foundation and give them a piecemeal pattern learning, So we start right from the basics, and then we kind of graduate into several complex topics, which as a working professional, not only makes it easy for you to consume, but given the balance that they need to strike between work and learning, this can be easily accommodated.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Mr. Rajiv, I just wanted to understand of all that, why AI/ML? What was your intention in partnering with INSOFI, and the kind of understanding you have about this whole new buzz that's happening about AI and ML? You're on mute, Mr. Rajiv. Request you to please unmute.
Sorry about that. So when, a lot of us have been using the word AI, ML, data sciences, analytics, and it's becoming all pervasive in all our daily lingos. But AI and ML, when you look at and when you understand the technologies, the promise that it is the potentially showing, it's still very new, and the companies and business leaders today are racing, to figure out use cases of AI and ML, because they see that potential. Today, maybe only somewhere I was reading 10% of the companies in the world have actually have had some use cases for AI or machine learning or analytics in their organization. But more and more business leaders are moving towards how do they use this technology to gain competitive advantages, or maybe gain cost savings, efficiencies, time savings across various industries. You look at finance industry or manufacturing or legal or insurance or various companies. You talk about fraud detection. You talk about writing news stories using natural language processing. You talk about image detection. Today, you are seeing more and more use cases as as the years go by. These use cases are increasing, and if you look at ML, we just don't realize how it has pervaded our daily life. I mean, all of us, we browse through Facebook and the recommendation engines that come across, or you go through Amazon and the suggestions made by Amazon apps. Driverless cars, we keep hearing about driverless car projects, and that becoming a reality. I mean, these are all examples of machine learning. So yes, both these technologies are getting increasing number of use cases, and more demand for AI and ML practitioners and professionals is being generated throughout globally, and not only in India. Over to you, so.
Great. Thank you so much. And Dr. Murthy, at this juncture, I just want to understand from an employer's perspective, a lot of people who are working professionals were definitely considered when we're trying to put the curriculum together as a part of the executive education. What do you think are the kind of gaps that this program would be able to fill from an organization hiring standpoint?
Right. So just a bit of context here. Again, when I said this field is seeing unprecedented growth, probably only matched by the quantum physics of 1930s, I truly mean it. What happened is, what was a PhD problem in 2011 or 12 is today a undergraduate classroom exercise, not even a homework. I see the paper written by Oxford in 2011. They were struggling. I mean, they wrote a 30-page paper to get a 58% accuracy. Now, undergrads can write a 8-line code to get 96% accuracy. So it came way too fast for the businesses. As Rajiv rightly said, businesses don't even know. Only 10% of businesses mastered how to use it. The remaining 90% have this technology that is available, and thanks to open source, it's very cheap. It's very cheap, but they don't know how to use it. And there is a lot of need for people, and of course, it can just blast in the wrong direction, because a irresponsible use of AI can put you in great embarrassment. So what is need of the hour for the employers is engineers and managers, and we particularly address the engineer problem in this course, so I'll focus on that. Engineers who can responsibly build AI applications and that actually align with their business need. That's a very, very rare skill that that's, you do have people who can write a bunch of Python code. I mean, you do have them, and there are enough courses online for free to teach that. You do have people who can write R code, but you don't have people who can think of AI development as a end-to-end application that can replace or aid a human in decision making. And that requires software engineering, that requires, of course, mathematical background, and that requires productionization, deployment, and a business analysis of the whole thing. This course essentially creates people like that. And at industry, that is the need of the hour. Everyone knows that is giving them the competitive edge, but they obviously want to get it fast. And there are so few of them who can give them that competitive edge. They are very expensive, and Google's and Amazon's hire them at unbelievable salaries. So what about I want to pay well, but I'm not a Google. So how do I get these good guys? I think this program definitely adds. Another small point I want to mention, because we have seen these courses, it is very easy to get greedy here, right? Can I actually learn entire data science in 15 days and then become giant Google Labs? I know people do that, and can I actually do it on 4 YouTube videos? I mean, at least that is one magic AI has not been able to solve. I don't know. I had to take 1 whole year doing all the homeworks, writing the code to become what I am. So I don't think there is a shortcut there. What I like about this program is it sets you on the ground. Yes, you are learning a breakthrough technology, but you know what? You need that 6-8 terms will make you work really hard. But when you do that, we strongly believe that you will become one of those the top 1% professionals that the employers are looking for.
And one just point I just thought I should probably also take your perspective is a lot of programs that talk about AI, ML, different terms that are used in this space. But this concept, how Microsoft came with combining DevOps and machine learning together, and the whole title of the program being AI and ML Ops, what would be the unique advantages from the learning and the kind of hands-on activities the students are likely to get?
That is actually multiple questions. So first thing, let me answer one. What is the advantage of the program, right? What is the uniqueness? So I will explain. So in between 2012 and 2016, the interest was for professionals, engineers, who can take a large set of data and extract patterns from there. So in those days, they were called data scientists. Don't really go too deep on those terms. You can interchangeably use them. But in those days, when companies said, I want a data scientist, what they meant is, I want an engineer who can access my databases and my big data lake and get some data, build a mathematical model, give me insight saying this kind of customer is doing this, this kind of customer is doing that, so that I can take better decisions. But as I mentioned, AI developed really fast. So now actually AI engines can take some decisions automatically, where humans, it's not even possible for the human to take a decision. For example, a simple task of showing relevant videos on the right when you go and you're watching your video on YouTube. Now imagine the moment I type a search phrase, YouTube is getting probably a million search phrases at any given time. It has to look at my search phrase, and it has probably several 100 million videos, identify the top 20 and show you all of them relevantly in no time. And without, obviously no human can aid this process, it has to be automatic. Now Microsoft said more and more there is going to be demand for this extremely scalable applications in the businesses. If I have a chemical industry, I want a machine to automatically detect any leak of a poisonous gas. If I'm conducting a surgery, I want a machine to tell the doctor when the next nerve where the bleeding will be high, so that he or she can knit that. Things like that, right? Autonomous driving car, probably, there's a brake. Autonomous driving airplane is going to be a different ballgame altogether. So I want to predict what will happen. Now, this DevOps is essentially marrying your ability to get useful insights from the data. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Get useful insights from the data while integrating them to the existing software applications that the company has. It integrates this machine learning insights into ERP systems, customer databases, everything. So the students of this program have the dual skill of computer science, software engineering, application development, coupled with machine learning mathematics. So that is why this is going to be, and I think past 3 years, this is the most in-demand job globally, not just in India, according to LinkedIn survey, for a reason, right? That was the first question. I forgot what projects that we give. Yeah, that is the second one. So as the foundational thing I told you, what we focus on is bringing our industry expertise into the classroom. For example, currently I'm working with a company. On this company, turnover is around $40 billion. They spend every year $10 billion on buying items. It's a chemical industry, they buy chemicals. $10 billion a year, no kidding. That is, I don't know, in rupees, it is 70,000 crores or something like that, right? 10 billion. The problem they gave is, I think we are overbuying. I mean, we are duplicating. When we have in small purchases, it doesn't happen. But when you're buying 70,000 crores, even if you repeat 1% of the items, you're wasting 700 crores. So that's a huge number. So they asked us, can you look at our 1.5 million procurements I made last 2 years and see how many are duplicate? We make you solve those problems, essentially. And examples I can now give probably a dozen, but you got the point. So these are the problems that are posed to us. Of course, we will completely respect the confidentiality, privacy, so we'll anonymize the data. But what we bring to the class are the real problems that industries ask us to solve. That is the whole purpose of making foundations and applied in the way that we have applied. So when we ask you to analyze text, it is either the supply chain data or procurement data that this company gathered. And you take and say, hey, you know what, from this, tell me what kind of insights that you can get. I just gave one example, but I think I answered your question. So over to you.
Yes, you did. Mr. Rajiv, just one point there to just connect dots there. When we talk about career prospects and the education prospects people achieve, because it's a great brand and a prestigious recognized program, and the kind of hiring patterns that you see, how do you see the kind of demand for this program from the employers who hire these students, and what kind of organizations are looking for such talent according to you?
So you can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, please, yes.
From a career perspective, you have various different roles that are in demand today. Whether you start with data scientists, or you look at analysts, quantitative analysts, big data engineers, machine learning developers, or data analysts. Various different career opportunities are springing up. Uh, it's again across industry. BFSI for a very is a very strong user. So the BFSI sector, from banks to other financial institutions to insurance companies, they use this. They are the early adopters in this country for this technology, because they're dealing with large amounts of data, right? It's one of the largest creators and consumers of data is this sector, and that data, they require insights, they require knowledge for decision making. They require this technology, and they are one of the largest users of this technologies. You look at the legal industry, law briefings. It's getting very tedious to go through briefings. And you look at the technologies like NLP, natural language processing. A lot of use for such technology out there. Of course, we talked about fraud detection, cyber fraud detection. Again, very strongly used for in the by a lot of these financial institutions. Dr. Murthy alluded to manufacturing enterprises, and today manufacturing enterprises are going into areas like robotics, and how to use AI technologies in the robotics. It's The health field has clearly taken a lead out there, where now robotic surgery and is the reality in a lot of hospitals, and more such applications are being looked at. So across industries, this technology is being used, and the demand that is being generated across this industry for jobs in these industries.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much. And Professor Brinda, I just wanted to understand, because it's a 2-year long program and you have quite a few tools like learning management systems that were put in place for these students. Can you just help us understand what is the experience students likely to have in terms of the learning assessments, the kind of dissertations they go through?
So to familiarize you with the way we conduct our classes, one is students can attend these classes face-to-face, and this is going to be in the online mode. And on our LMS, what we do is we upload these various pre-reads that we usually have for several topics, or additional reading that students could probably go through, in order to clarify concepts, or probably go beyond the class to read up a little bit about an area that interests them. So we upload these on our portal, or the learning management system, and the students can at their own pace be able to read these articles. Back again, considering that these classes are conducted in the online live mode, what we've also done is ensured that the recordings for these classes are available within 4 hours after the class is done. So just in cases of if a student happens to miss any class, he immediately will have the recording for the same. And we've also enabled these with video transcripts, which kind of eases the learning mechanism for them. Back again, what we have observed over the years, whenever we've been conducting classes for different courses as well, when you're in the flow of teaching, usually students don't have doubts immediately, right? So they kind of, when they go through the entire course or are trying to integrate certain concepts of one course and the other and trying to understand further, they may have doubts. So we do have several channels with the help of which students can actually reach out to the faculty and get these doubts clarified at different points and times. Many a times we also hold sessions which kind of facilitate more deliberation on certain topics which are relevant to the industry. At the same time, they enable to solve a problem which probably students are facing and the industry is focusing at. At the same time, another thing, considering these are working professionals, we do have the entire system that I am talking about right now, which is also available on the mobile app. Okay, and students can also access the entire online learning portal via this app. And another additional benefit that we've also got is that the students can access the Nmi Mse Library, which has like an access to a lot of journal articles. We've also got a lot of books which are relevant to the same field. So if somebody is interested to read up more about it, they can have an access to our vast library available.
Great. And Professor Anuradha, I've seen a lot of questions already talking about the academic background and the eligibility. Would you be able to just help us understand what kind of students from what backgrounds would really be considered eligible for this program?
Yes. So what we are looking for is, this is a highly technical course. So what we are looking for is students with a BTech background. We are also looking for students with, who've taken courses in their bachelor's or who have already done their master's, who have a strong math background. Along with that, most students today do programming in their BTechs and their, other master's and bachelor's programs that have math. The programming comes along with that versus earlier years where it was not, though programming will be covered as we go along in the course too. We are looking for people with work experience, a minimum of at least 3 years. So that is our prime candidate, somebody who is BTech or has a math background, say a physics with math or a computer science with math. We encourage master students if they'd like to come in, but that is what our background for students is.
And Professor Brinda, what kind of assessments or the entrance criteria or selection criteria would you typically consider for this program?
So, speaking of when you talk about assessments in the program, first let me tell you about that. What we've designed is we've got a continuous evaluation pattern here, right? And when I talk about a continuous evaluation pattern, the whole idea is basically to ensure that a student, when he finishes a particular topic, okay, we have several tests which are embedded on specific days, which we will brief them about. And this is to check whether the theoretical and the practical aspects of the course is something that they've been able to absorb and apply. So we've got a continuous evaluation pattern, okay, which ensures that you're continuously learning. And another bit that we've got is the end term exam for that particular course, which again is a part of the marks coming from the continuous evaluation, and a part of it is reserved for the end term, which the student needs to take. That's how we've designed the assessments for this particular course. For each of these courses. Yeah, and you take one course at a time, already mentioned earlier by Professor Anuradha. So once you finish a particular course, you take the exam and then move on to the next course.
All right. And Dr. Murthy, a lot of students do have an apprehension that they don't have a coding background or they don't come from a programming background. Do you think it's really an important parameter or a prerequisite to be able to admit into a program like this? And will they be able to cope up if they don't have a hands-on programming backgrounds earlier? I can't hear you, Dr. Murthy.
Okay, sorry.
Please.
Yeah. Apologies for that. So the course by itself starts from the very basics of programming. We start with introduction to data structures, which probably is the first course in any computer science program that you learn in first and second year of your bachelor's. So we start from the very basics. We teach everything in this course from ground up. Having said that, okay, if you don't have programming background, you have to work probably harder than others to pick up. So you can still do it. But what I really want you to know is that this is a technical course. So you should have that inclination and aptitude to learn that math, to learn that programming, to build an application. This course is not about learning a high-level picture of AI. This course is about doing AI. So at the end of this program, companies will hire you to build their AI systems. So what you know at the beginning is probably less relevant. You have 1.5 years, 2 years to learn, and you will be taught by some of the finest in the world, and you will be taught from the very beginning to all the way. Because of so much time we have, we take you to, we carefully sculpture your career. We do that, but you really have to be willing to put yourself through that, get the right attitude, knowing very well that what you're signing up is a engineering program, perhaps more comprehensive than most MTech programs in this field. Once you have that attitude, so I'm really not, I don't think there'll be an issue for someone to pick up the programming. However, as Professors Brunda and Anuradha mentioned, if I have a Bachelor of Arts in English, I really have to prove, you have to write the exam, prove to us that you know enough math, because you probably stopped doing math a long time back, right? So we don't teach certain things in our course. We don't teach how to add matrices in our course. We don't teach how to differentiate something. Probably that we teach, but the basic trigonometry we don't teach. If you forgot all of that, we will test you. Right? Yeah.
Right. And this is more from a student standpoint. And I would request Mr. Rajiv or Professor Brinda to just address this. NMIMS is a huge, brand, and it has, excellent, legacy in helping students achieve their, career prospects. So the students who join this particular program, do they get the same status of a regular NMIMS student, and do they have the access to the college campus?
Yes, I'll take that question. Yes, the student gets the same status as a regular NMIMS student. In fact, even in the certificate that we provide, it is a similar certificate to a regular program students, so similar degree certificate. They have access to the college resources like the library, the student area, the reading room. So they do have access. The only difference being that this program is online. It is meant for working professionals, so we don't expect them having time to come to campus on a regular basis. So they can take this program online, but otherwise their status remains as any other regular NMIMS student.
All right. Thank you so much. And just one important aspect. This is, there are people who are asking, is it a certificate program or is it a UGC approved program?
It's a degree program. NMIMS as a university is accredited by NAC as a grade A university. Grade A allows NMIMS to launch programs and degree programs of its choice without, because we have autonomy from UGC to launch any degree program that is approved by our academic council. So because it is approved by the academic council, this is a recognized degree program and not a certificate program.
Great. Thanks for the clarification. And just from a closing note standpoint, because we are running short of time, but I've seen a lot of questions. There's one interesting, question that we keep coming, and I think one of the students also asked today, and maybe Dr. Murthy or anyone else who would like to answer, it'd be good. It's a question that says a lot of jobs are getting automated and a lot of jobs are taken away by AI, and not many humans are likely to get their chance to do their job. So what is the trend going towards, and what kind of careers can people even plan? If jobs are being automated, what are they going to do? So
Right. So, by the way, before I start, I just want to ensure that everyone knows this is not a MA in Philosophy of Artificial Intelligence. This is MS in AI and ML Ops. Now, but having said that, so if there are lots of jobs, you will be the last guy to lose the job because of this course. So that's even a better reason for you to do this course. But having said that, jokes apart, see, look at it this way. It is not that 5 years from now. So to the best of my knowledge, and I do a lot of AI ML for a living, and I interact with some of the finest AI ML scientists and researchers. So I can tell this with some confidence, at least at the level where AI is today. It is not about 5 years or 10 years from now, we have these plants where only machines work and humans are shunted out or thrown out. No, that is not what is going to happen. There are, let's say today, a business is doing 100 jobs. First thing, because of AI and ML, the business will do 1,000 jobs in the next 5 years. That means enormous productivity with the same people. More importantly, of these 1,000, only 300 to 400 jobs are going to be completely done by the machines. Humans may still continue to do their 50 jobs or so. Remaining 400, 300 jobs, humans have to help machines do their job better. Okay, I'll take one quick example to help this become clear. We are going to, unfortunately, invent many, many more pandemics in future. What we saw COVID-19, I am sure there'll be, like Ram Gopal Verma's movies, COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22, you will have many of them, right? So now, how much time does it take to make a vaccine? In the olden days, it used to take 2 years to 10 years to make a vaccine. This time, with special approvals, it took a year. There comes a time in future where the demand will be you have to make a vaccine every quarter. How do you do that? The only way humans can get that speed is if they learn how to use machines appropriately. Just like how a surgical instrument helped doing operation a lot better. Obviously, when there was no surgical instrument, what were the doctors doing? They were growing nails or what? They were not doing operations, right? They needed those tools to do it well. Similarly, now you have a set of tools that help you do things that you cannot fathom. So the problem here is not losing a job. The opportunity here is doing things that you never thought you were able to do. And already these things come to you. I mean, I was actually teaching, some school invited me to give a session on AI to 9th graders. And I wanted to dazzle them with what AI can do. And I told them, you know what, understanding speech. And I gave like half an hour lecture. And then they said, my Siri does that. What is technology there? Then I told them, yes, the Siri is powered by this AI technology. So what was not possible has become part of our lifestyle so much that we don't even know that there is a technology. So because of Siri, you don't lose jobs. You do things that you never have been able to do. So AI is going to create more jobs than what will be lost. However, yes, there'll be some jobs lost, and you have to upskill, reskill, or skill yourself for these new age jobs. So don't worry about it. You will many of the jobs that require logical thinking, emotional thinking will still continue. Your job is to learn how to build those applications that help you do it better, or how to use those applications that help you do it better. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
so?
absolutely, absolutely. And on that note, maybe Mr. Rajiv, just want you to comment on the kind of placement support these students are likely to get towards the end of the program.
So yes, this program comes with what we do call as a placement assistance. So between today, between Instofi and us, we have close to 800 partners that we've tied up with for placement. And while we don't guarantee placements to people here, but definitely we will provide placement assistance to anybody who goes through the program and clears the program. And since we have such a vast network of recruitment partners, we will ensure that most candidates who go through these programs are placed somewhere or the other.
Excellent. And there are quite a few questions piled up, and I just picked one question because we just have a few more minutes to conclude this event. I'll just make this question open for anyone to answer this. So the question is more about when they do this program, are they likely to get into only a technical area, or can they also get into the business side or business growth or the business role that they can explore? What kind of opportunities in terms of data sciences are this specific to only a business area or techie area, or will they only get to deployment? That's the kind of questions that I could see.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr.
Yeah. So again, this is a Master of Science program in ML, AI and ML Ops. So the people who graduate from this program are going to acquire a lot of ML mathematics, the algorithm and deployment skills. This is industry vertical agnostic. We have taken examples from healthcare, manufacturing, BFSI, retail. Name a field, you will get opportunities there. And what we expect you to get into are their AI research labs, are the production software engineering and deployment labs, IT groups, and technology consultant roles. Now, this course is very applied, so it does at every point align the program with the business. But is the again, so will you get a job in any vertical? Yes. But is this a business course where you learn strategy, marketing, HR? No, this is not a business course. This is a Master of Science course. So once you get it, however, as you see, once you join as an engineer or a senior engineer or a data scientist, you will start leading a team of data scientists in a few years, and then get into chief data scientist or IT head or data head, chief data officer kind of roles, probably with 10, 15 years of experience. So I hope I answered part of it. Others are most welcome to join.
Just to add to what Dr. Mukti said, while you may not be definitely not look at any kind of business role using this course, but you are definitely going to solve real world business problems using this technology. So you will get an access and ideas to what kind of real world problems are there, what are the business problems that are there that our companies are grappling with, and what kind of solutions that you can create. So your connection to the business world is not going away, although the role that you will take up at the end of this course is going to be technical in nature, as Dr. Murthy clearly said.
If time permits, I'll share an experience. 30 seconds, Som, do you have?
Please go ahead. Yes. Sir.
So guys, it's going to be fun. I always tell this, what kind of jobs you get to advise people in areas you don't have a clue of. So there are last year I was working on 3 consulting projects. Firstly, you are looking at me. I don't know how to buy a cloth or a t-shirt by myself. I don't know how to drive a car. And when I was in 8th grade, I told my father, I will never ever gamble. And last year, I was working with Abercrombie, which is one of the most known fashion design companies, helping them design better t-shirts. I don't know how to buy one. And I was helping Chrysler how to build a car better and faster. And I never drove a car in my life. I have a driver or my wife who drive me. I never did that. And the third one, Caesars in Las Vegas, asked my help to understand what kind of customer behavior they expect when they're gambling. I never gambled. So the field is so beautiful. Just looking at the data, you get to advise Amazon how to sell books better. I mean, it's, it'll be fun. So yeah. So there's a lot of application and business alignment.
Great. And this is probably the last question. We just have 2 minutes. I'll request Professor Brinda or Professor Anuradha to just comment on this. This is more from the time of learning commitment that they go through, because it's a 2-year program and definitely there's a lot to cover. What is the learning commitment that these students are expected to actually put through? What kind of schedules do they have to plan?
I'll start. Brinda, jump in whenever you feel like. These will be classes that will be held 4 times a week. And the last 3 days of the week is when, if you get assignments or if you have to reread some stuff and go over stuff that you have learned, you will need to do that. The commitment requires obviously that you be present online when the lectures are taking place, and the labs, the hands-on lab, which is the differentiator. It's not just theory being thrown at you, and you have 3 days where you assimilate it. The LMSs are available for question and answers. We have Q&A sessions too. This is a technical program. There is a commitment. It's a Masters of Science program. So apart from sitting in class, you will have pre-reading material that you will need to go through and post-work. So there is, even outside class, you will need at least an hour, at least, 1.5 hours a day, depending on how slow or fast you pace it. So that is the commitment. So, however, I wanted to point out, as Dr. Murthy was talking about, the immersion part, which we didn't touch, if I have 30 seconds, it's very applied. We are going to teach you in a very applied way. It's not like, when you go for your job, you're going to, say, hey, I know all the theory that I learned, but when you put me in front to solve a business problem, I'm clueless. We have the boot camp, the immersion boot camp, where you will build prototypes, at least 2 prototypes. It could be a chatbot, a simple chatbot, a simple recommendation engine. Then we have a whole master's thesis in the Q7, where you're given a paper and you've got to extend knowledge, disprove or prove that paper with data. So it's very applied. So it's not just theory, like the time commitment is not just going over the decks and reading through. It's actual applied work where you're solving a lot of business problems. Brinda, anything you'd like to add?
So one of the things that I'd like to say is, considering the fact that ma'am just mentioned, we'll have to apply things. It makes more sense for students to follow with us right from term 1 until, the first quarter until the end, because towards the end, you do a master's dissertation project, which essentially is the application of whatever you've studied right from the start of the program. So in terms of commitment, if students follow through all the terms and, whatever is being taught, they'll be able to create projects at the boot camp, which essentially will get them to design a prototype or simulate something into the real world, as well as this will also help them in the master's dissertation in the last quarter of the program.
Great. I think we are good. I think we're pretty much towards the conclusion of the session. Any closing notes by anyone would be appreciative.
I'll say something. So just at the closing, I think students I recommend very strongly those who have aspirations in AI, ML to explore this program. You may visit our website at executive.nmims.edu or write to us at ngasce@nmims.edu and we are going to definitely send you a brochure, a link. Our counselors are will contact you very shortly. But definitely, my recommendation to everyone who has this aspiration of doing anything within this sphere, please go through one of our info sessions, that the dates of which will be emailed to you. And try and understand or get counsel about the program, because really we've taken a lot of pain, and as Dr. Murthy earlier said, I think we've been at it for almost now 6 to 8 months or probably more in designing this program. The team has taken a lot of pain to make it application oriented, and if you go through this program, the likelihood of your success within this field is going to increase tremendously. So that was my closing remark. So thank you.
Thank you. And I think it's really a pleasure talking to all of you today. I think this really gave a lot of perspectives to, I think, most of the participants, even myself. And it's really informative and actually fun to talk to all of you. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll now play a quick video for a few seconds, just for the participants to understand more about this program, and then we can conclude. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, team. And I think we can conclude for today. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you all.
Thanks, Som.
Thank you.